There was a time when Dennis Rodman, former NBA player, longtime celebrity cut-up, once known as the Worm, wanted to be called Orgasm. I can see the connection, but should he have been granted exclusive use of this word? Sure, there are plenty of other options for the rest of us. Ultimately, we could be thanking Dennis. While he would be stuck with the common everyday orgasm, that's O for ordinary, we will have moved on. The first response we might encounter is the explorgasm, our reward for being adventuresome. This is for people who enjoy the high seas and the wild blue yonder. Those who are more insecure and prone to doubt may find themselves experiencing the more complex either orgasm. It's subtle and deep. I recommend it only for those with an existential inclination, as it tends to be a bit brooding and therefore draining, and it can often be reached, as in the case of Kierkegaard, only by a leap of faith. Others who have trouble making up their minds may choose the free tourgasm, a chance to sample a variety of pleasurable sights. The basic morgasm is certain to be very popular, a crowd pleaser for obvious reasons. It's the gift that keeps on giving. But the nevermoregasm is probably best suited to fans of the melancholy and the macabre, the goths, which reminds me of the horrorgasm for those who are in it for the big screen. Spine-tingling best describes it. Go for it if you dare. The goregasm, I would note, is not a member of the slasher family. It's more personal. It's something Tipper and Al might have shared on a night when the former Veep was trying to recapture the magical days when he was reinventing government and discovering the internet. More fun than a hanging Chad. The egorgasm is the feeling you get every time Dr. Frankenstein shouts, "It's alive! It's alive!" As with all aspects of life, not every sexual experience is desirable. Some you should avoid at all costs. The boregasm, for example. Come on, it never should have happened in the first place. It's a snoozer. My advice, let it go. The same might be said for the ignoregasm. There it is, and you don't even know it's happening. As well as the choregasm, which seems obsequious to me, unfit for the aspiring libertine. If it feels that much like work, forget it. The norgasm has been called the ultimate contradictory experience. Masochists might get off on it. The less said about the offensive odorgasm, the better. Same goes for the snorgasm and the deplorgasm. The what-for-gasm is simply a bitter study in ennui. Ditto its cousin, the whatevergasm. A wargasm could only interest the military types, but it's all slam-bang, booyah, and gung-ho if you dig it. A quargasm is a southern event, derived from the choirgasm, the supposed outcome of making it with the band. The beforegasm is not recommended either, mainly because it's over when both of you are ready to begin. Where's the fun in that? Not all results are as bad as they may sound, however. For example, the isorgasm, while ugly, is potentially enjoyable. It's not best to judge by appearances. And the poorgasm, while it might not be much to some, is welcome if it's all you can afford. Gives a whole new meaning to being hard up. The amorgasm, obviously for lovers. A harborgasm is for the more nautically inclined, certain to be a hit among the yacht club crowd. When it comes to sheer pleasure, some people would just about die to have a survivorgasm, which is reputed to be so intense you barely make it out alive. Group activity is also a possibility here, with players voting out one member after each round. For those who need a quick pick-me-up at night, we have the convenience storegasm. The foreshoregasm is another no-doubter, as is the bracing hardcoregasm. The who knows what's in storegasm is for those lovers of serendipity who cherish the unexpected. The 2x4-gasm has been compared to a sharp blow to the head, while a 4x4-gasm and the 4-score-gasm are for those who want multiple tremors, creating a rippling effect. It goes on and on and on. But the 4-score-and-70-years-ago-gasm is for history buffs who are fixated on Lincoln. The exorgasm is for those who seek a return to former spouses. It's really playing with fire. Former scouts of either gender can't get enough of the s'moregasm. Hot, gooey chocolate, crispy graham crackers, what's not to like? Connoisseurs of sex favor the excelsiorgasm, though it is rare and hard to find. Bolder folks like the flair and pageantry of the conquistadorgasm. You think you found El Dorado. Then there are those who favor more specialized treatment and are willing to pay for it. The whoregasm, obviously strictly for the pros. Clinical types enjoy the doctorgasm, although here the bill can be steep. Cheaper rates might be available through the chiropractorgasm. Tinkerers seem to be pleased by the inventorgasm. They're always coming up with something new. Salesmen and letter carriers never seem to tire of the door-to-door-gasm. Go ahead and meet your neighbors. The inspectorgasm is really suited to those people who get a kick out of going through customs. Pat me down and let's get on to the body cavities. Those who get a charge out of making love in odd places dig the corridorgasm and the elevatorgasm, and they can make a vacation out of the bangorgasm. And if they're in a rush, there's always the good old floorgasm. Carpeting is a plus, but I'm told cold hard linoleum can be a real rush. Some fantasy experiences are extremely hard to differentiate. For example, Hollywood inspired the Terminatorgasm, but it was difficult to distinguish from the Predatorgasm. Maybe it's because they both feature the daunting Schwarzeneggergasm. Both are elaborations of the more primitive roargasm, which is what happens when you screw around with the king of the jungle. Two others, which are not easy to distinguish, are the sooner or latergasm and the better late than nevergasm. By the time it comes around, you may have forgotten what you're up to, but if you're the patient type, have at it. In the celebrity spotlight, we have the very stylish Zsa Zsa Gaborgasm, as well as the somewhat kinkier Eeyoregasm. I know someone who once had a Pauly Shoregasm, and he is not yet fully recovered. Pets? Dog lovers boast about the thrills of the Labradorgasm, but I find stories of the legendary Alligatorgasm to be unconvincing. It's a part of what I call the folkloregasm. Don't bring that fairy tale sex around here. Raptorgasms are for those who still get a kick out of Jurassic Park. Deadly pleasure. Man-eaters can line up for the carnivoregasm. The conductorgasm may even be the result of a symphonic orchestration by a maestro, or what happens whenever you ride on the train. In either case, lucky you. The senatorgasm is what happens to all the aides and pages in that notorious cloakroom, and an orgasm is what some people say they get out of rowing. Go for the burn. Finally, the yourgasm is a perfect little gift you can give yourself, and there may be no more welcome event in all the world of sex than the encoregasm. But beware the imploregasm. Neediness can be so off-putting. Stop whining and try a two-doorgasm, the royal treatment.